Good morning. Welcome to the Universalist Church, in which love is the spirit. We're glad you're here on this holiday weekend, here in the sanctuary or anywhere in the world, especially those visiting or returning after a time away. I'm Joe Wilson, a member of your Board of Trustees. I'm delighted to see you here. If you are a visitor, we hope you'll talk with our welcome team or visit our webpage. That's www.westhartforduu.org to learn more about us. Our guest book or online contact page will help you get onto our electronic mailing list. Our electronic communications are the best way for us to all stay connected. We look forward to helping you become part of the Universalist Church. We've made it through the season of colds and flu, although there's still some pollen around, and the COVID numbers are decreasing and continue to do so. Masks are always welcome here, and we encourage you to stay up to date with your vaccinations and boosters. If you would like a mask, our ushers will be glad to give you one. We have some that we're happy to share. After worship, we'll have fellowship in Fisk Hall and through Zoom. If you need help finding your way to Fisk Hall, any member of the church will be happy to help you. Just look for someone wearing a Universalist Church name tag or follow the herd. That'll get you there. You can find the link for Zoom in our weekly news or our Breeze calendar. If you're getting the weekly news, if you aren't getting the weekly news, please sign up for it on our website. And now, I invite you to take a moment to make your mobile phone silent, turn off your email, put away that keyboard, and settle in for worship, which is being led today by our guest preacher, Reverend Diane M. Daniels.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to be with you this morning. Our call to worship was adapted from a poem written by Maya Angelou, and I've titled it Belief in Power. It is this belief in a power larger than myself and other than myself which allows me to venture into the unknown and even the unknowable. The words we hear, the ones we say, the ones we live, they mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with deeper meaning. May we each realize the power of the words we live, the ones we utter in jest, in all seriousness, in anger, or in sorrow. Words are tangible things, and while their power cannot be measured by modern machinery, we have the capacity to change them for good, for ill, and to use them to harm or to heal. May we understand the depth and the breadth of their power and take time to be intentional about our own use of words. May we wield the power they contain with grace and intelligence. May the words of this service empower you now and throughout the week ahead. Come, let us worship together. It is my weekly challenge and privilege to play with this chalice. Let's see, we have no flame up there, so I'm gonna borrow one. Take it here. Here we go. Let's make sure the fan doesn't blow it out. Give me a little more wick. Those of you who have seen me up here often know that sometimes I have a little bit of a challenge lighting the chalice. If you happen to have a chalice at home, please light it now and share with us the energy of the flame as we continue our service. Our chalice lighting this morning was written by Paul Stephen Dodenhoff and is entitled For This 1 Hour. For this 1 hour, Spirit of Life, we let go. For this 1 hour, may we let go of our anxieties, our fears, our anger, our self-doubts, our regrets, our petty grievances, and our distractions. If only for this 1 hour, let the flame of this chalice burn them from our hearts and our minds and light our way to peace, serenity, and the presence of this moment. For this 1 holy hour. Now let me ask everyone a question. You folks in the back, wave at me. Can you hear me okay? All right, I'm getting nods and waves. This is a good thing. Our opening hymn this morning is number 1 in the gray hymnal. Easy to find, just pop that cover open. And please, if you have a hymnal at home, sing along with us. Its title is May Nothing Evil Cross This Door.
This door, and may your fortune never
everyone. Please join me in speaking the words of our affirmation, our covenant, as printed in the order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you, everyone. It is now time for the Time for All Ages. Please welcome to the lectern Dr. Patricia McKee.
So, I want to tell you about a very bad day. A very bad day recently that I had. First of all, I've not been feeling very well. And I've had doctor's appointments and these kinds of things, and everything's kind of on the mend now, and that's good. But in the midst of all of this, I had to take care of some business. So I had to go to Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a lovely city, not really a part of my bad day, but everything that happened one morning, I was on my way back here. When you wake up in a city that is not yours, you're kind of disoriented, right? So I went to get my morning coffee, the little coffee maker in my hotel room, broken, no coffee. Okay, I can roll with that. I go downstairs, no coffee. So take a deep breath. I think this can't be an omen of things to come, but certainly it was. So I get to the subway station, which I'm going to take the subway to the train, the Amtrak station. I go to the kiosk to use my card to get my ticket. Doesn't work. I step to the right for the only other kiosk available. Doesn't work. I have no cash. I take a deep breath. I try again. I try a third time. Finally, it takes my card. I get my ticket. I go through the gate to get to the subway. It says green, go, walk through. I start to walk through. It catches and smashes right into my hips. So I have a nice bruise right here. And I step back, take a breath, push through again. I get through the gate. I catch my train on time. Phew. Get to the Amtrak station. I have quite a while. I'm looking for coffee in the beautiful, frankly beautiful station in Philadelphia. I find some coffee. I go get my coffee. Big one, great big one. I sit down. I set it on the floor. And the wonderful, innocent person next to me sets her bag down, and my coffee spills all over the floor of the train station. I'm cleaning up coffee for a long time because it was a big one. Everybody's, if you feel like all eyes are on you when something like this happens. So, and I'm taking all of this very seriously. I'm very sad about all of it, and I just think the whole world is against me that morning. And then I notice a group of women walking together across the train station. I'm just going to guess that they're related to one another. There was a grandmotherly-looking woman, a woman who looked maybe about my age, a woman who looked like she could be my daughter, and then an even younger woman. They all sat down right across from me, and they all looked like they were having as bad a day as I was having. Then a fifth woman comes along who is a part of this group, hair disheveled, barely able to hold on to everything that she's carrying. And it's so loud at this point in the train station, I can't hear what they're talking about, but I can see that she's telling a story about distress. Something happened over there, and gesticulating, and she's kind of talking at the women who are sitting in the seat. And the grandmotherly woman looks up at her and starts to giggle. And she giggles, and she giggles. And at first, the woman who's speaking is a little put off, but she cannot resist the giggle. and they all start to laugh together about how awful their morning is. I know that's what's going on. And I'm watching them, and I start to laugh. I don't know what they're talking about. I can't hear a word they're saying, but I just start to laugh. They see me laughing at them. They know I have no idea what they're talking about. They start to laugh at me, laughing at them, and here we are, a bunch of wild women in the middle of this train station, laughing our heads off, and we don't really know why. So, I just want you to think about that moment and relate it to this poem in your own mind. A few of you might know this poem. It's called It's called Then Laugh by Bertha Adams Bacchus. It's a pretty old poem, probably about 100 years old. This woman is obviously British, so I'm going to change one word of this poem so that it rhymes appropriately, and when we get there, you'll understand. Build yourself a strong box. Fashion each part with care. When it's strong as your hand can make it, put all your troubles there. Hide there all thought of your failures, and each bitter cup that you quaff, lock all your heartaches within it, then sit on the lid and laugh. Tell no one else its contents, never its secret share. When you've dropped in your care and worry, keep them forever there. Hide them from sight so completely that the world will never dream half. Fasten the strong box securely, then sit on the lid and laugh. Thank you.
I like that one. Put all the troubles, the miseries, the complaints, everything, throw it all in the box, shut the lid, and sit on it so they don't get back out. I like that one. Thank you. Our offering time. The voluntary offering, the sharing of our resources for our shared work as a religious community, is a spiritual practice for us. By offering your time, talent, and treasure to this community, you help us serve the members, friends, and wider community of this congregation. As part of that service, we share our general offering each week with organizations that do work in the world that brings us ever closer to creating the beloved community. This month, we share our offering with PFLAG Hartford. PFLAG Hartford works to help make our community and all communities where they have a presence healthier, more well-informed, safer, fairer, and happier places for LGBTQ+ people, their families, and their loved ones. Their mission is to build on a foundation of loving families united with LGBTQ people and allies who support one another, and to educate ourselves and our communities to speak up as advocates until all hearts and minds respect, value, and affirm LGBTQ people. PFLAG is the first and largest organization for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, non-binary, questioning, and queer plus people, their parents and families and allies. PFLAG Hartford was founded by Helen and Bob Brill in 1981, and they served as its first co-presidents until 1989. The organization continued to grow through the 1990s and continued their activism into the new century, working tirelessly in multiple areas of LGBT civil rights reform, gay parent adoptions, civil unions, military policy, gender non-discrimination reform, full transgender rights recognition, and same-sex marriage equality. Today, PFLAG Hartford is a robust chapter of close to 100 members as they continue the mission of support, education, and advocacy in Connecticut. If you'd like to give electronically, please use the QR code in your order of service. The links in the description or those on the website to make your donation to our offering. Here in the sanctuary, our offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you, everyone, for your generosity of spirit, the generosity in your hearts that drove you to give this morning. Thank you on behalf of PFLAG Hartford and everyone who needs their services and who is affected by the good work that they do. Thank you, Jenny. If you would, please take out your gray hymnals. We have a congregational reading that is responsive this morning, and you can remain seated for this part. And this reading, it's number 464, and it's titled, "And Then." I will start with the words in plain text, and would you please respond with the words in italics? And then all that has divided us will merge. And then compassion will be led to power. And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then both men and women will be gentle. And then both men and women will be strong. And then no person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance. And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young. And then all will cherish life's creatures. And then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again. Thank you. That responsive reading was written by Judy Chicago. Please now join me in our doxology, also printed in your order of service. Praise God for beauty Thank you, everyone. Good morning, Birdie. I want to share with you now a reading entitled, You Have the Power, after which you'll hear the musical message and then my sermon. You have the power to change your thoughts, which are under your direct control. When your thoughts displease you, you have the power to take control and redirect them. You can develop your skill at changing your thoughts and get better at it every day. By controlling your thoughts, you control your moods and your actions, a demonstration of personal power. You determine your results by the thoughts you permit. You consciously choose what you want to think about, and your ability to do this grows by leaps and bounds every day. You decide what thoughts are most beneficial and can choose a new thought because your mind is strong and capable. Your thoughts can alter your circumstances, alter your life, and your experiences in the world. Thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to results. You have the power to decide to only entertain thoughts that propel you forward, and you can change your thoughts in an instant. Believe in your power. Exercise it, strengthen it, and use it for good. Our musical message this morning, America the Beautiful, by Samuel A. Ward. Good morning again, everyone. Just to make sure you're paying attention, I switch sides. Gotta do it every once in a while. Shake you up just a little bit. Make sure this heat and humidity has not lulled you to sleep as it often does to me. Let's begin today's service with a couple of definitions. If you've ever heard me preach at all, you know I love a good definition. Power is the ability to influence or change an outcome. When talking about us perfectly imperfect human beings, we can describe our personal power as a source of influence or authority, especially over people we might consider our fans or followers. Independence means that you are literally not dependent or not having to depend on anyone or anything else in order to be strong and survive. The term most often relates to people and countries, and it's usually spoken of as a good thing. There are a few different types of power that I'm going to cover in today's sermon: reward power, coercive power, legitimate power, expert power, and referent power. To exercise reward power means that you offer rewards to your followers or associates for completing tasks. It's important that whoever your follower is believes they will be rewarded. Parents use this kind of power to encourage good behavior and good results from the efforts of their children. My parents used reward power to encourage us to get good grades in school and to get good marks in citizenship. Do they still give marks for citizenship anymore? Usually that means that we were not disruptive during classes and we extended our teachers the same respect that we gave our parents. One of my mother's favorite things to tell us was that in the hierarchy, there was God, parents, and teachers, in that order. You could also draw a parallel between this type of power and the commonly accepted tenets of traditional Christian religion. If you live according to the laws of Christianity, as explained by religious leaders, you will be rewarded for your efforts by being allowed to enter the gates of heaven. Similarly, non-performance can put you in the class of people who fall short of the mark of the high calling and therefore would be excluded from heaven. Now, our Unitarian Universalist faith does not ascribe to this particular rule. While we do not force anyone to be a good person, Principle 2 espouses a belief in justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. And Principle 3 encourages acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth. Growth is only possible when you can admit that you have not yet reached your goal and that you still need to get smarter, stronger, more accomplished in order to reach it. Coercive power is the opposite of reward power. What motivates you to perform is the avoidance of a penalty for non-performance. This type of power needs followers to believe they will be punished for non-performance. For an employee-employer relationship, the coercive aspect is the potential for the loss of employment or a reduction in pay for non-performance. Commission-based salespeople perform in order to earn additional income, and the result of non-performance is a reduction in pay or status or both. Legitimate power is the type created because of a person's job title, and it's dependent on followers who believe the person has a right to instruct them because of the position they hold. Taking care of the power implied in a role and a title is important, because treating that level of power as something you are entitled to can seriously backfire. Returning to our first UU principle, each person, no matter what their title, has inherent worth and dignity. Treating them in any other way diminishes you as an individual and diminishes our faith. Someone treated with ignorance may not remember you as an individual, but they will certainly remember your title and your affiliations. As a minister, I find myself often being measured against the experiences my fellow humans have had with other persons who carry that title and who may have misused the legitimate power that accompanies the title. I take the responsibility of the title minister or reverend very seriously. Expert power is the type created when other people, followers, co-workers, associates, for example, believe a person has expert knowledge. Examples of people with expert knowledge also include lawyers and doctors, really good mechanics, and people who work on old houses like mine. They have expertise I don't have. The general public believes these people have the expert knowledge to complete specific tasks with skill and confidence based on their education, their experience, or a combination of those aspects. The belief of others in an individual's expert power is what gives them authority and what encourages deferential treatment. The last type of power I'll mention is referent power. This type of power is bestowed upon a person who possesses admirable qualities that other people and their followers would like to possess. Mother Teresa has a certain amount of referential power. People believe she has desirable qualities, and they put more weight and authority behind her words and her actions because of that. Oprah Winfrey also exhibits referential power. She has millions of fans who believe in her work and her words and find her admirable and want to be more like her. Sports stars, intellectuals, and scientists are examples of people with varying ranges of referential power. We place them on pedestals and admire them, often wishing that we possess some of their qualities that make us admire them. While admiring others for their levels of power and responsibility is normal, I want you all to remember that everywhere you go, you take your personal power with you. You have the power to draw upon your strengths, those aspects of your personality and your spirit that make you uniquely special and human. I want to encourage you to elevate your belief and your confidence in your own abilities. How often have you felt less than confident about a task you were attempting or was assigned to you? And instead of giving up, you put in the extra effort to work through the task. That's a demonstration of personal power, and it is to be admired. Each day, you can exercise your personal power by asking for what you need in order to accomplish your daily tasks. Now, perhaps that's reassurance from someone who you trust that you really can do it, or it might be help that you need. Perhaps you've been raising your voice in matters of injustice or when you feel something is wrong. This takes courage, and every time you stretch and grow your level of courage, you advance another step toward manifesting a supremely confident and powerful you. You can decide to have productive conversations. In the midst of the COVID pandemic, there were people who kept a positive outlook. They were unafraid of vaccinations, or at least if they were, they did what was suggested by the experts and got the vaccinations anyway. They exercised their personal power in doing what they felt was right. Others did their own research and evaluated the volumes of available information in order to make their decisions. They believed in their own personal power to understand their options and took the correct actions for themselves. One of my coworkers in the registrar's office has a series of kind of what I would call hidden medical conditions. They don't show up obviously. By looking at her, you would never be able to tell. But she worked with her doctors when the city of Norwich said that all employees had to be vaccinated. She worked with her doctors and brought in whatever proof they needed to say she should not be vaccinated. She was very careful about the people she associated with. She wore a mask whenever required, and sometimes probably when it wasn't. because she could not be vaccinated, but she felt it was her responsibility to protect her coworkers to the best of her ability. She exercised her personal power and sense of responsibility to try and keep everyone safe. Your personal power can also come in handy when you're learning how to manage your stress levels and employing coping strategies and tactics to help you keep your head on straight, rest your brain and emotions, and recharge. Focusing on what you are grateful for instead of what you dislike is a demonstration of personal power. You get to decide what gets the majority of your energy and your focus. When you feel mentally, physically, and emotionally strong, you can also tap into the power of gratitude to strengthen yourself. Your actions will change because of the strength you feel. You'll find yourself moving through your day with ease because you know you've got the strength to handle whatever comes your way. Let's now turn to a definition of independence. In the Oxford English Dictionary, it's defined as the freedom to organize your own life and make decisions without needing help from other people. Independence means that you're strong and able to survive, tapping into that personal power I mentioned earlier. Developing and enhancing your personal sense of independence is a form of self-love. Learning about yourself and what you're capable of empowers you to shift toward your highest potential. When we're young, independence might take us back to a time when we were finally able to choose our own clothing for school. We developed a sense of trust in our own power, and it was our preferences that took first place in that situation. What a confidence builder. Perhaps it was the first time we attended a movie on our own. Even if our parents or older siblings were nearby, we were empowered to choose what we wanted to watch, and maybe we even got to choose our own snacks. Did you earn your driver's license or learner's permit as a teenager? What a feeling of freedom and independence. Even if the vehicle was technically owned by your parents, you still felt the sense of accomplishment at your victory. Our perfectly imperfect human understanding of independence is affected by context. A 30-year-old who is still driving their parents' car may not seem very independent, but if that person was just getting back on their feet after years of struggling with a serious illness, or being in recovery from a serious accident where they were unable to function, we'd see them differently. Their ability to drive a car and function well enough to keep a job could be seen as an incredibly strong display of independence. Relying on yourself and trusting in your abilities comes from knowing who you are and being happy with that person. When you can genuinely feel proud of who you are and what you've accomplished, you're celebrating your personal power. There are multiple aspects to independence. Emotional independence, where you don't need to rely on others for happiness. Mental independence, where you think for yourself and are not mindlessly following the crowd. And financial or professional independence, having enough money from a job or personal wealth that your living costs are covered and you can create a lifestyle that aligns with your passions. So how do you get there? The condition of being emotionally, mentally, and financially independent, Start by being your own best friend. What does that mean? It means that you know you can depend on yourself, trust your own thoughts, ideas, and beliefs, and that you're okay with sometimes being alone. Focus on the relationship you have with yourself, recognizing your own inherent worth and dignity, and that will empower you to have better connections with others and a stronger ability to socialize with others as well. Next, understand that you will occasionally need support. And an important part of independence is acknowledging that you do have limitations. All we humans do. And that seeking out support to address them is normal and necessary. You can define your own identity and value without needing to wait for acknowledgement or agreement from anyone else. The feelings of those around us can help to reinforce our identity and value, but we define it. Thirdly, take time for self-reflection. Recognizing your true thoughts and feelings empowers you to separate your true beliefs from borrowed ones that you've adapted through associations with others. One way to do this, and a personal favorite of mine, is to develop and maintain a journaling practice. The act of writing helps to quiet the background noise of our very busy world, and we can express ourselves freely and without fear. You can ask questions like, how did that really make me feel? And in writing your answers, discover surprising revelations or confirm what you've always known about yourself. You can uncover habits that no longer serve you and give yourself the ability to release them as you travel a path toward your authentic self and your highest potential. Your independence will strengthen your self-esteem and self-confidence, and you'll start to realize just how capable you are as you take on and conquer challenges while living your truth. Use your personal power to help enhance your sense of independence and recognize your accomplishments. Be rightfully proud of yourself and your strengths, and keep on stepping forward into the life you want and deserve to live. Thank you for your time and attention this morning. And now we'll listen to our closing hymn, which is at number 30 in the hymnal. But do yourself a favor, relax, and listen to this beautiful rendition from the choir, Over My Head. Thank you so much. Let us speak together our unison benediction, which is in the order of service. Please rise as you are willing and able. Our unison benediction. Engage with the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. Please be seated, be comfortable, and remain for our postlude, America the Beautiful.